What's most important to you in the Freedom Caucus that must be in this bill?
Well, for me, it's people need relief from the high premiums, high deductibles. I don't want government-centered care. I want people to be able to choose different plans. I think that states should be able to experiment, have high deductible plans, have health savings accounts. That is really the way where I think that you're going to see a downward pressure on the prices. But if we don't do anything about the affordability, and it's Obamacare that's really driving this through the roof for people, then I don't think you're addressing the core concern that people have with Obamacare.
You know, one of the questions I have, though, is that so many people, we're talking about choice on the Republican side. The Democrats are talking about whether or not people are going to live or die, right? They're going into this really, really scary place. How do you talk to the American people about what they are going to get beyond just choice?
Well, but understand how that choice works. When Obamacare came online, millions of people had their plans canceled. You had some people that I've spoken with who were suffering from serious illnesses. When they got put on an Obamacare plan, they no longer had access to their preferred doctors. And there's family members who say that that was part of the reason that they didn't do as well as they had hoped. So this does have real consequences. If it's government mandating and you're at the whim of a government bureaucracy, you're going to have less opportunities to really do what you need to for yourself and your family. And yes, that ultimately we're talking about people's livelihoods and their health and their lives.
By the way, if we don't get health care done before the timing after the August recess, before you guys go for August recess, would you vote to just do tax cuts and forget the overall reform? I mean, you've got to get something done legislatively this year. If you can't get health care done, would you move on to tax cuts and just cut taxes if you can't get reform done?
Well, I'm not giving up on health care, but Maria, you put a tax cut in front of me. I mean, the Republican Party was put on this earth to cut taxes, so I'll support that. But I don't think you want to give up health care. I think you got to keep it all there. And I think we're at an inflection point because if you look, if we do the health care, you do a really significant tax reform and tax cut, you provide funding for the president's border wall. He put Neil Gorsuch on the Supreme Court. We've had a big regulatory overhaul. You know, we could be sitting here October talking, and that could be very successful. It's almost like the Jordan Spieth golf round. No one remembers the bogeys early in the round. They don't remember necessarily when he was on the other side of the hospitality tents. They remember him holding the claret jug. So I think we're at an inflection point where we could really be in a situation by the end of the fall where people look back and say, man, this president's been more successful domestically than any president since Ronald Reagan.
All right. Well, we will come back to it and talk again, obviously. Congressman, it's good to talk with you. Thanks so much, sir.
Good to see you.
Congressman Ron DeSantis joining us. Stay with